Hello everybody, I'm John, this is JP Strategic Investments, and today we're going to go over how to read a candlestick chart. We'll go over all of the basics on how to understand these charts and what they actually mean and how you can use the information, as well as why a candlestick chart offers you much more information than just a standard line chart. And finally, we'll get a little bit into how you can actually use these charts to spot trends in stocks and use that information to help you predict future stock movement. Now, the first thing we have to do to understand candlestick charts is to understand what these candles actually represent. So each of these candles actually represents a period of time. Now, that period of time could be as small as 1 minute or as big as 1 month. And the body of each candle, as well as the wick of each candle, tells us a lot of information about what exactly happened during that period of time with the stock. Now, most of the time when you look at a chart, candles will be green or red, but you can actually change the colors of these candles to meet your preferences on a lot of the software that you can use. For our example though, we'll stick with the green and red to make it easier for you guys to understand. Now, the base of the body of the candle on a green candle represents where the stock opened during that time period. And the top of the body of a green candle represents where the stock closed at the end of that time period. The wick, or the thin line that runs through the middle of the candle, represents where the high and the low for that given time period was. For a red candle, it's similar aside from one exception. The top and bottom of the wick still represent the high and the low for that time period. But on a red candle, the open for that time period is represented by the top of the body of the candle, and the close is represented by the bottom of the body of the candle. This is because a green candle signifies that a stock closed higher than it opened during that given time period, and a red candle signifies that the stock closed lower than it opened during that given time period. Now, if you're actually watching a stock while it's trading, depending on what time frame you're looking at, you might actually see the candles moving as they're trading. Let me give you an example of what that might look like. When a candle starts, it usually starts off with a thin line like this one. If the stock is moving up, that thin line will be green. If the stock is moving down, that thin line will be red. As the stock moves, if it starts to move up, the candle will get bigger as the stock is moving up. But once we see that stock start to fall back from its most recent high during that time period, the wick will be left behind to show where that high was. If the stock continues to drop and falls below where it opened during that time period, the candle's color will change to red. As the stock continues to drop, the body of the red candle will continue to get bigger until the stock starts to move up again, and then we can see the wick is left behind to signify the low of that time period. Once that time period is over, a new candle begins, and the same process is repeated over and over again. Here's an example of this happening in a real-life chart. Now, as I said before, candles can represent a variety of different time periods. As you can see here, I have the option on the software that I'm using to go from 1 second all the way down to 1 month. Personally, I rarely use anything under 15 minutes, but if you're day trading and you're getting in and out of trades over the course of minutes, you might find yourself using anywhere from the 1 minute chart to the 45-minute chart. If you're swing trading or trading over the course of a few days or maybe a week or two, the 2-hour, 4-hour, and 1-day chart are very popular. And if you're doing anything more medium to long term, usually you're looking at 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month charts. Just to give you an example here, this is the same stock over the same period of time, but on the left is the 1-day chart and on the right is the 1-week chart, meaning that on the left, 1 candle represents 1 day, and on the right, 1 candle represents 1 week. You can see here that if you're analyzing any period of time more than a few months or so, it's hard to use the day chart because it kind of gets a bit cluttered. That's where you can see if you're analyzing a stock over the course of several months or years, you probably want to use either the 1-week chart or the 1-month chart. If you're day trading though, or doing any sort of short-term trading, the 1-week chart and even the 1-day chart might not offer you enough information to look at over the time period you're trying to analyze. If this is the case, you can drop it down to any of the hourly charts or even look at charts below 1 hour. Now, the main reason that a candlestick chart is much better than a line chart is because a candlestick chart offers you much more information about where the stock went during a given time period than a line chart. Take this chart for example. If we look over here on February 23rd, we can see that based on this green candle, the stock opened here at 662 and closed right around 698. But we know that the stock dropped all the way down to the 617 level during the course of that day. Whereas if we look at the line chart for the same stock, we don't see that information. When we're doing any sort of analysis, looking at support and resistance or any technical indicators, this could be a big problem. For example, if we add the lines here that I've drawn, we can see that this level over here corresponds with a very strong resistance level after the stock has dropped below here. We wouldn't have this information if we were just looking at the line chart. And this is just one example where the extra information that a candlestick chart gives you allows you to much better analyze a stock and predict future movements. So now that you have a better understanding as far as how to read these charts and how you can actually use the information within these charts, if you're looking to use one of these programs, the one that I'm using here is TradingView, and I do actually plan to do an entire tutorial as far as how to use TradingView. There's a variety of great tools that this program has, including the ability to set alerts at different points if you're not just sitting at your computer so that you know when a stock breaks support or resistance, as well as playbacks and different things like that. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below, and if I've already done the video, I'll link it in the description below. Other than that, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you want other stock related videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and check out the other videos that I have. Other than that, see you next time and have a great day.